Hey Vaping Nation, today we're going to be reviewing the Venus-Saturn Atomizer / tank. Sorry about the lighting. We left our studio lights on overnight and they burn out and haven't had the time to go pick up some new bulbs, so we apologize ahead of time for the graininess and the low light quality in this video. We'll have new bulbs probably before our next video, so just bear with us on that. And with that being said, let's talk about the Venus-Saturn. So the Venus-Saturn, it's probably one of Jeff and I's favorite atomizers that we use, and it's been killing us to get a review done on it, and unfortunately we have to film it in these circumstances, but we really want to get this out to you guys. It's a nice and versatile little tank. You can go from a dripping setup like we have here to a tank setup with like an Ego T mouthpiece tank like we have here. It virtually does not leak. The only way you can get it to leak is if you're dripping and you overfill it. That's pretty much the only time we've ever had any leaking problems with it. And the reason that is because in the bottom where your coil is and your wicks, it's completely isolated from the connection to your device. So it's not going to leak out through the bottom like some VV Novas or any of your other cheaper atomizers and clearmizers and cardos. They usually have an air hole where your connection is. This, you don't have that. So you can go in between dripping like we have it set up, and you take that part off, and it comes with a drip tip and the little dripping setup. And something I didn't mention is there's a nice little tube inside of there, so if you hold this thing upside down, it's not going to leak. Your juice is going to run off to the sides and pool around that tube that goes down. But you just take that dripping setup off, and you take your tank setup and just thread it on there. Let me get this tank tip off. You thread that on, and then you just pop your tank in, and it's as simple as that. So let me show you guys how to put the wicks on it and how to fill up the tank. It's just like your average Ego T style tank, so most of you guys should be familiar with this. Alright, so now we're going to put our coil and wicks onto the atomizer base, and the way you do that is you use these little stakes that go onto your atomizer base. They are itty bitty, look microscopic in my hands. So you just slide one end of your coil into it like so. Bear with me here, fellas. So you just slide it in there like that, and fold your excess wire up onto the post like that, and then you repeat the same process for the other side. Alright, and you just repeat that same process, thread the needle, get that up there, fold your excess wire over, and now your coil and wick setup is ready to go on your atomizer. So you've got your two posts right here, and you'll just slide it on just like that, and then you'll slide your other one on, like so. Straighten your wicks out, get them nice and even, and then just kind of put them down in the basin. They're a little stiff and like to fight you, but you can get it in there. Just like that, get those wicks in there. And I mean, this is a little process, but usually, at least for Jeff and I, we stick with flavors in certain devices, so we don't have to do this too often unless we accidentally burn up a coil or they just burn out. But typically we don't have to deal with this too often. And the only reason it's really taking too long is because I want to make sure you guys can see every step. Alright, now we have our wicks in. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to take our Ego T needle base and slide that over the wicks. And make sure that none of your wicks are hanging out. You just slide that on there and thread it in. It's got an O-ring on there, so it makes a great little seal and won't leak out the side on you. Then you'll take your Ego T tank base and thread that over the needle. Tighten that up. Now we're ready to fill up the tank. Okay, so now we're going to fill our Ego T tank. First thing you want to do is pop off this bottom cap right here. And we're going to fill it up with USA Premium Tobacco Blend from Extreme Juice. And you'll just put that in there and fill it up. Now if you're dripping, this device does hold about 30 to 40 drips the first time you fill it up. And then after that, you're probably going to want to drip it 10 to 15 times. Any more than that, you can risk overflowing the device. We got that tank on there. Now all you do is just slide it on and let your tank wick up for a little bit. It's as simple as that, guys. So the Venus Saturn is at a pretty good price point of around $27. Now I call it the Venus Saturn because I picked it up over at Vaping Extreme, and that's what they call it there. Universally it's known as the Venus Atomizer kit. You'll see it as different names on other websites, and please don't get it confused with the Eternity. It is an extremely similar, pretty much a clone. I don't know who came up with it first, but the Saturn, or the Venus, excuse me, is built a little bit better, and it doesn't leak nearly as much as the Eternity. So if you're looking for something like this, pick up the Venus before you look at the Eternity. It comes in a nice little presentation case. You've got a window so you can see what comes in the box, and a nice thing about having this tin is you can keep all the parts that come with this device in one spot if you don't have a case where you keep all your vaping stuff. So a really nice piece that's included in the Venus Atomizer kit is an Ego style skirt. So you just thread that onto your Ego style battery, or say an EVIC or a Vamo. Get that on there, then you thread on your device. Get that put on there, and it just gives it a really nice, pretty finished look. And another benefit to this style skirt is it gives the atomizer a little bit more stability, so you're not going to have that wobbling problem that you do sometimes with other clearmisers or cardos. So now that we've had time for this to wick up, I'm going to take a quick puff for you guys and show you the vapor production on this. It's running at 2.4 ohms. I have a 70-30 VG to PG blend in there. And keep that in mind, guys, we use the same juice when testing all of our devices. It's the USA Premium Tobacco Blend. It's a 70-30 VG to PG. And that's just our go-to juice for pretty much everything. But let's take a quick puff. I'm using it at 10 watts. Let's see what it does. It's got really great vapor production, and one of my favorite things about this device is that it has a really low drag. It has no resistance at all. It's a really nice little device. So overall, the Venus Saturn, it's just impressive. I've had my two for the past couple of months. I keep a couple different flavors in there, one set up to drip, one set up with the tank. And overall, it's a monster. I haven't had to change out my coils yet. This one we were reviewing here is Jeff's. He wanted to switch up his flavor, so we took the opportunity to make a review with it. Thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and keep on vaping.